Now, the next segment is going to be Thomas. Thank you very much. Hey, let's give a big hand for Tom for yesterday and today. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. You will see on your schedule, we now have what is called World Cafe. You're probably wondering what the dickens is that. We have the expert here to share with you a little exercise, and that's Greg. Greg is one of our facilitators. He's going to tell you what that involves, and it's pretty kinesthetic, actually more than kinesthetic. And it's something that is going to be new to me too. So I'm going to turn over to Greg.
So I was a little disappointed Janet didn't highlight White Countess. I wasn't a star, but one of those 1,000 extras, happening to be in Shanghai at the time, needing for another foreign face. I am Greg Adler. I'm one of the teacher facilitators. Thanks, Paul. And I'm going to kind of walk us through World Cafe. I don't know how you guys are feeling. I don't quite think I can claim a PhD, but maybe after 2 days and 10 speakers, at least a master's in modern China. So maybe we can talk to 1990 about making some of those certificates that we can walk out of here with, and maybe printed, you know more than most people will ever know about China. And some of you guys are maybe wondering more than you want to know. And if you're walking out of here at the end today with more questions than answers, that's probably a good thing too. But we do know that even despite having some great talks here over 2 days, it's a lot to digest. And one of the big things that 1990 Institute wants to make sure that happens is this translates into the classroom. Because with 50, 60 teachers in the room, the potential impact of helping students better understand modern China just expands and expands. So we thought this year we'd roll out World Cafe and see how it works, and we'd do this just briefly, but just to kind of experiment a little bit, just get a sense, how many people have heard of or think they know what World Cafe kind of means? Okay, so at least I know my audience. And those of you guys who raised your hand, you might become a facilitator now. And we will have the members of the 1990 Institute come and sit at your tables as well and kind of help facilitate this. But it's pretty simple. I mean, we're trying to create some collaborative conversations around a couple of directed questions to kind of bridge some of maybe the conversations that have been happening in the room, or maybe even just some of the thoughts that are in your head at this point in time. So we will give you the questions. We're going to try and make tables of about 6, 7, 8 people. And we're going to try and push some things about just being reflective, thoughtful, respectful, and somewhat, especially at the beginning, equity of voice. In the first question we roll out there, we'll ask that we try to get everyone to speak to it, even if your voice is just, I'll pass on this one, just to get everyone speaking, even amongst a community of teachers. Some of us can't stop speaking, and others of you are happy to defer, and so we do want to get everyone involved as much as possible. So here's kind of the general format. Again, we've already kind of broke up into little communities to some degree. So I'm going to ask you, to close your computers, because I'm really not a presenter. So I'm not going to have anything really that you have to take notes on, and I'm going to have you move, and it'll just be safer for your computer if it's closed there. So we're going to move in a second. That'll be your first group. And again, a chance to maybe meet some of the other people who've been in other different breakout sessions and what have you. Try to form into about 6 to 8 people at a table. Some of the 1990 members will join you at that table. Then we'll give you the first question to discuss. Facilitators, their job is just to throw the ball around, get everybody involved. We'll add a second question at some point, and then we'll stop, take a brief time out, and we're going to then mix up the room again. And we'll ask you to form different groups. At that point, the facilitator's staying at the table. Everybody else is moving. And so if we don't have a facilitator at your table, somebody volunteer. Again, you're basically just pushing the conversation around, things we do in our classrooms all the time. And then we'll come up with a third question before we close. Any big questions for me right now? All right, so everybody stand up. Baiji, how do I say that in Chinese? My Chinese is lapsing right now. I guess I've lost her. Okay, so again, somebody at your table maybe stay, but everybody else move around, find a different table, and we'll get you back to your original tables too before the end.